There are games that feel like a step forward, and then there are games that feel like a glimpse of what's coming next. For a lot of players in the early 2000s, that feeling arrived with Need for Speed, Underground. Before it, racing games were already popular. Fast cars, tracks, time trials, lap-based racing, you knew what to expect. Even when they were good, they still felt structured, defined, contained. Underground didn't feel contained. It felt alive. From the moment it started, it felt different. Not just because of the cars, not just because of the speed, but because of the atmosphere. The city wasn't just a backdrop, it was the experience. Neon lights reflecting off wet streets, traffic moving through the world, nighttime setting everything in a different tone. It didn't feel like a racetrack, it felt like a street. And that distinction mattered, because suddenly you weren't just racing, you were part of something, a scene, a culture. The music played a huge role in that. It wasn't just background sound, it was identity. Every track added energy, attitude, momentum. You didn't just hear the music, you felt it. And that connection between gameplay and soundtrack created immersion. Because the experience wasn't just visual, it was emotional. Driving through the city at night, with music blasting, lights flashing past you. It felt cinematic, like you were inside something bigger than a game. Customization changed everything too. Before Underground, you could choose cars, maybe change a color, but that was about it. Underground gave you control, body kits, neon lights, paint jobs, decals, performance upgrades. You weren't just driving a car, you were building one, shaping it, making it yours. And that ownership changed how you felt about the game. Because when something feels like yours, you care about it more. Winning mattered more. Losing felt more personal. Every upgrade felt meaningful. Because it affected something you created. That level of personalization was new for many players. And once they experienced it, it became expected. But at the time, it felt like the future. The progression system reinforced that feeling. You didn't unlock everything immediately. You worked toward it. New parts, new cars, new visual upgrades. And that sense of progression gave the game structure without limiting freedom. You always had something to aim for, something to improve, something to build toward. And that kept players engaged, not just for hours, but for days, weeks, because it wasn't just about finishing the game. It was about completing your vision, your car, your style, your version of the experience. There's also something important about how the game presented speed. It wasn't just about numbers. It was about sensation, blur, light trails, camera angles. Everything combined to make speed feel intense. Not just fast, but immersive. You didn't just see speed, you felt it. And that sensation made races more exciting, more memorable, because it wasn't just about winning, it was about how it felt in the moment. The city design played a big role too. Open streets, multiple routes, traffic adding unpredictability. It didn't feel like repeating the same track. It felt like navigating space, adapting to situations, reacting to what was happening in real time. That unpredictability kept races fresh, because no two runs felt exactly the same. You couldn't rely on memorization alone. You had to react, adapt, think, and that combination of skill and reaction made the gameplay satisfying. Underground also captured a specific moment in time. Early 2000s car culture, street racing, customization, music, style. It didn't just represent that culture, it embraced it, fully. And that authenticity made it resonate. Because players didn't just see a game, they saw something familiar, something relevant, something current. It felt modern, cutting edge, like it belonged to that exact moment. And that's why it felt like the future, because it wasn't looking backward. It was reflecting what was happening right then and pushing it forward. Looking back now, it's easier to see how influential Underground was. Customization systems became standard, urban racing settings became common, music integration became more important. But at the time, it all felt new, fresh, different. And that difference made an impact, because players weren't just comparing it to other racing games, they were comparing it to everything they had played before. And it felt like a step ahead, like a preview of what games could become. Even visually, it stood out. The lighting, the reflections, the atmosphere, it created a mood, a tone that other games struggled to match. It wasn't just bright and colourful, it was stylized, focused, intentional. That level of presentation added to the feeling that this was something new, something more advanced, something closer to what the future might look like. There's also the way it brought everything together. Gameplay, music, visuals, customization, progression, all working toward a single goal, immersion. And when everything aligns like that, the experience becomes stronger, more cohesive, more memorable. Underground didn't feel like separate systems working together. It felt like one unified experience. And that unity is what made it stand out, because it didn't just excel in one area, it delivered across the board. And that's rare, especially at the time. For many players, Underground wasn't just a racing game. It was a moment, a memory, late nights, repeating races, perfecting cars, listening to the same tracks over and over, because it felt good, because it felt right, because it felt like something new. That's what made it special. Not just the mechanics, not just the visuals, but the feeling, the sense that you were experiencing something ahead of its time, something that pointed toward where games were going. And once you feel that, you remember it. Because games that feel like the future don't just entertain you, they stay with you, they define a moment, they capture a feeling. And Underground did exactly that. It didn't just follow trends, it helped create them. It didn't just fit into the industry, it pushed it forward. And that's why it still matters. Because some games are great, some games are memorable, and some games feel like they're showing you what's next. Underground did that, and for a moment, it really did feel like the future.
But a master gaming, take control. Let